Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Jorge, aka Two Wheel Snail, and today, like I said, I'm going to do a review on the CRF250Rally after riding, well, pretty much over 55,000 kilometers, roughly about 34,000 miles. Yeah, here I've got a couple of notes. Don't want to miss it up. So let's start with the basics. I bought this bike in November 2020. It's a second-hand one. The previous owner rid with it 4,500 kilometers. That's like 2,800 miles roughly. So far it's been a great bike. I made a couple of modifications obviously, but the bike all in all, in general terms, is an all good rounded bike for anyone who rides alone, for anyone who does not want to get into trouble when they drop the bike and they just want to pick it up whatever they are. I am 1.68 m. That's my height, and that's roughly 5.5 feet, and I weigh 80 kilo, eating a lot of cheese, drinking a lot of wine during summer, so yeah, hence the weight. The first thing that I want to say is what do I use it for? I use it pretty much for everything. Okay, I am someone who, when buys the motorbike, is planning to use it for pretty much everything I can possibly do with it. So I go and commute. When I was working in Barcelona, and I would commute 200 kilometers a day, and it was fine. Of course, once I went on the motorway, it was a bit of a problem, but it's okay. I got used to it. Occasionally I go on long trips, like for example the last one, which was this summer. I went to Turkey, so through the Balkans, Turkey and back, and it was perfect. Didn't give me any problems. The only thing I had to change, because well, obviously wear and tear and use, was the rear tire and the chain set. But apart from that, it's all good. Something I wanted to say is the kind of trails that I do. I ride normally 4x4 trails. It can vary on the difficulty. Obviously, once I've been getting used to the bike, the weight, the way it works, the torque and everything else, now I'm getting into a little bit more complex. But right at the beginning, I was getting like just the same ones I used to ride with the Africa Twin. I don't really do enduro. I don't think this bike is meant to do enduro trails at all. It is all good rounded, but it definitely doesn't have the torque to get you into where you're meant to get on an enduro trail. So let's move on. Things I like. Coming from an Africa Twin, once again, 2018 Africa Twin DCT, by the way, the most relevant or important feature or advantage that I like about this bike, is how light it is. So it weighs 157 kilo wet, which means that that's almost 100 kilo less than the Africa Twin, if I'm not wrong. The other thing that I love is the petrol consumption. I can do 300 kilometers on a tank. The tank is 10 liters. That's like 2.7 US gallons. That's good. I mean, normally, yeah, I need to ride about between 80 and 90 kilometers per hour, 55 miles per hour. It's not fast, of course, but this bike is not meant to go on motorways or ride fast. It's just gets you to where you want to get, but not fast. If I ride on 100, which I can do 100 kilometers per hour, I would do something like 260 kilometers on a tank, which is okay. I mean, there's always a petrol station here in Spain. I think there's only one particular province where you might get into trouble. The suspension, the stock suspension, I haven't changed anything. Is good enough. Okay, it's not like I said, it's not for enduro. It's very soft. You need to take that into consideration, but wherever you go, it works. Okay, the important thing is like things work, and the suspension for me works. Another thing that I want to show you is, because I am 168, one of the things I like is obviously it's very soft, so you're gonna see something. Look my hip, look where it is. Of course right now we're on a slope, but if I sit down, I can definitely just reach, 1 foot. On both, I will kind of like have a little bit my heels up, but that's okay. The exhaust, okay, people say, oh, I need a louder exhaust, it's too heavy, it's not good, it doesn't make the rap. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't like to disturb wildlife. I don't like to disturb, because I'm a hiker as well, I love nature, like I said earlier. So I'm actually one of those who are against, you know, like revving in, making a lot of noise in nature. I actually go on higher gears than I should, unless of course I'm with my friends and then we're like kind of like going a bit aggressive. But it's not something that I normally do. When I go alone, obviously if you're alone you need to be more careful, so then I try not to make noise. The saddle. Ooh, the saddle. The saddle is quite comfy, okay? It's some people complain, some people change it. I guess because got a big bun, it's, it's okay for me. Like I say, I went to Turkey, came back, and I didn't have a single problem throughout the day. I wouldn't ride in something like 250 kilometers a day, and it was fine. Okay, I did that for a month, and almost, yeah, like a month and a half, almost 2 months. So it's okay. All right. So let's now go on the things that I don't like, which aren't many, but there are some things. The first thing would be the suspension. So at the same time that the suspension can take everything you give it, at the same time I say that it is a bit too soft sometimes. Okay, so if you go on the tarmac especially, yeah, the bike sings crazy. It's like, woo, but you get used to it. But yeah, it would be nice if you could at least change it. Yeah, I could upgrade the suspension, but at the moment I'm not going to do it. Perhaps in the future. Talking about the suspension, if you plan to go on long trips, like for example I used the Moscow 80 litre, the Reckless soft panniers. They're quite heavy, meaning we're talking about 80 litres, and sometimes I actually pack more stuff than I should. That on top of my 80 kilos, so that's 160 kilo roughly, the bike feels like a chopper. I mean, I know it does feel like a chopper, so it's it, it looks funny when someone takes a picture of you, because you do look like you're actually going to take off anytime soon. The last one, but I mean, is a Honda. We know that it's not a KTM. Is a lack of torque. Like I say, sometimes, yeah, when I go with my friends and I want to be a little bit like, yeah, let's go uphill. Yeah, I need to go on second and go crazy, you know, like almost like 7,000-8,000 RPM to get like the juice out of the engine. Otherwise, it's not going to work. I'm just going to be like, but it's all right. It's fine. Something I'm already used to it. Now let's talk about the muds. So things have changed. Most of the changes are here. So I've changed the handlebar because the stock one is really soft. I bend it. Now I've got Pro Taper. You do need to get the, I don't know how you call it, the clamps for the Pro Taper, but it's all right. What else? What else do I have? I also got the quad lock. I've been getting it since the beginning. It's been with me ever since the Africa Twin. Been using it for 4 years, and it's perfect. It's never dropped the phone. Yeah, it's okay. And yeah, I did have the issue with the iPhone, but I mean, it's okay. It's okay, as you know, how to take it to Apple, and they fixed it and whatever. Never used it again to bit, but yeah, just so you know. Yeah, foldable mirrors, very important. Back boosters, hand guards also. Header grips, very important for the winter. USB, yeah, the USB is very important as well if you want to use a mobile or any GPS. And that's pretty much everything I've done here. What else? Food pegs. I've done that as well. Sorry, that came with a bike already. So the previous unit changed it. They are, I think, from Zeta, I don't know how you pronounce it, Japanese brand. Really good quality, and definitely a must if you want to ride this bike, especially off-road and during muddy days. What else? Yeah, so the rack. The bike doesn't come with a rack, as you know. This is an AliExpress one, but is fine so far. It's a bit rust with the back, but it works. And this, which is not a mod, obviously, is just something I normally use. I keep all the, you know, the tools that I need. This is the crash bag from GV, and it actually holds everything I need. Perfect for any trip. The difference between the 250 and the 350 and the 300, I had the pleasure to ride a friend's 300 back in May. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen her. It's Lisa at Lisa Enduro, and she gave it just to try it for a bit. And the difference is on the punch. It has a really nice punch. That the response is faster, and that is something that you're really thankful when you are on like some technical bits. But apart from that, the suspension, I felt it was pretty much the same. The dashboard is really good in that sense because it gives you the gears, so you can see the gears. You can also see like how much petrol you're like using. But apart from that, the bike is pretty much the same. So there you go, guys. If you got any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to reply any comment, any questions that you have. I can make any video if this is not enough. And yeah, if you're based in Catalonia or in Spain, or you're planning to come to Catalonia and you want to meet me, feel free to just drop me a message, okay? Also, please, guys, if you can, just follow me, just subscribe, you know, leave a comment. Yeah, I'm planning to make some videos because a lot of people have been asking me, you know, sending me DMs, but I think it's fair enough if I just made this video. So I hope it was actually helpful and hope to see you next time. Cheers, bye-bye.